But I want to go back and talk about something that I think is pretty deep. The level of pressure that a lot of these World Cup racers have when they're on a pro team, like you said, looking from outside, you're like, that's everything a racer aspires to be. But when you're in that position, it's not all, fun times and easy racing. It's double, triple, quadruple the pressure. And you have all these people around you relying on you for their livelihood, your livelihood, the team in general. I know of it from like a pretty low down level that if someone messes up a season, that's going to really affect your next season's team budget, and that'll affect their and so on and so forth. And then also what surprised me is like the level of, once you get that much support, like the level of imposter syndrome that these top riders have, even though the reason why they're in that position is because they deserve to be in that position. Very rarely does someone get on a pro team that doesn't deserve it. There's too much money that goes into it. But
it's not F1 just yet. We don't have people buying their way in.
Yeah. I mean, maybe 1 out of 50, there's some sort of weird deal. And they're usually a pretty sick rider too. Like it goes with it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who even will have results to back up their spot and still feel like they don't deserve to be there. And it's just a human thing. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. No, I totally see what you mean. I mean, the pressure to succeed and to the difference when you do bad and to when you do good. Like we talk a lot about, what happens when you do bad. Like you feel this, you feel that, but what's making that happen? It's a different conversation. You're inside yourself and you've let yourself down, and that sort of shadows your perception of everybody around you. So, the way people are looking at you are through disappointment, or the way people are talking to you, you might feel like, you've let them down or whatever. But I think, those big teams, everybody knows what racing is.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, the people that are managing the teams have been doing it 10 times longer than the athlete that's racing. I think just putting trust in the people running the team is the best thing for the young athletes to do. And yeah, you just can't get caught up in that stuff, but I can see how it's hard, right? Like you have 3 spotters on the hill, you have a mechanic, you have a guy who drove the truck, you have the people who set it up, you have all of that stuff. I think, the best way, if I could give any sort of recommendation, the best way to alleviate some of that pressure is just get involved. Like go help set up.
Yeah. So it doesn't feel like everything's just being done for you and you're being spoiled.
Yeah. Like go help set up, clean up after dinner or lunch or whatever it might be. Offer to do a road trip from one race to the other with the truck driver just to see what it's like. Get involved. And, these teams are traveling families. So I think the best way to feel like a community is to participate in it. And it's hard for young people to see that window and see that opportunity that is to get involved. But I really think that's the key to alleviating a lot of that pressure, because then you get to know the people better and you see them for who they are, not from your lens of defeat in maybe some of those cases.
Yeah. And what's hard is for so many, maybe the entire top 30, the goal is to win. There's only going to be one winner though. So there's going to be 27 pretty disappointed people, or like, the top 5 might be content, whatever. But there's a lot more disappointments than there are, triumphs.
Oh, yeah.
So there's managing that too. It's just the way it is. Not everyone can win. And I don't think a lot of people talk about how polar the sport is, not just in it being great and bad and great and bad. It's like when you're at these races, it is 110% of your being. You're 24/7 with your team and your teammates. You're in a different part of the world. You're immersed. And when you're immersed for a number of weeks on a trip, it feels like your entire life. Like it feels like 12 months of your year is this crazy lifestyle. And then when you look back at the calendar and you go home, it's probably a bit like NFL players experience and stuff too. It's like a big high and a big low. It's not that your normal life at home is bad, but you're just so immersed and so surrounded by friends and so in this pursuit that you feel like you're home and there's nothing going on, even though you're training. But it's different. And I think you probably have a lot of that from when you were competing in Pro BMX too, is like you have the competitions and then you have your training life, and how that differs is pretty polar. And a lot of the people racing World Cup, their main friend group is around World Cup. It's like other riders, your team involved, and then you go home and they're all on the other side of the world. So it's very different too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely, you can have an alienating feeling to it being on the road and traveling for racing and stuff. And that just, I mean, everything you're saying, that just brings the mental game into play, you know?
It makes the race day that much more important too, which compounds all those other issues these riders are having.
Yeah. I mean, we're kind of talking about like some of the struggles that people could have in these situations, looking at somebody who deals with all this stuff really well. I mean, we got to bring up Loic Bruni, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Every single one of those aspects that we're talking about that could turn into pressure, he uses that as an advantage. That mentally, he frames that not as pressure, but as an advantage because it's something his competitors don't have, and that fuels him. And that's why he's so damn good.
Yeah. This could get us into Loic Bruni versus Jackson Goldstone. Do you see they're doing a little series where they're collabing on posts talking about the rivalry they have?
I haven't followed the manufactured rivalry because I'm sure those guys are good friends, but
but it's funny, at least the way it's being portrayed is like Loic is really focusing on this competition, which is good. And like you said, he uses that to fuel him and motivate him. And Jackson's sort of like, I'm just out here, I'm riding my race, I want to do my best, etc. And I saw that as two different versions of the same story, like very different versions.
Yeah. I mean, Loic has honed in on his process, obviously, and Jackson's sort of finding it, but look who's teaching it. And that's Steve Peat.
Yeah.
Who was the king of keeping that work play kind of balance in check that his whole career. You know, he was always known as the partier, but he was also one of the most fit guys on track.
Really serious.
Yeah. And always during his career, this is something I don't think is really talked about that much, always the fastest in practice. Like first, if you only got one run in World Cup, he would have won all of them. Like always the fastest guy on the track, first run down. But that comes from preparation, from practice, but also the ability to separate yourself from that stuff and be fresh when you need to get back into it. So yeah. I see a lot of that Steve Peat sort of influence with Jackson's approach, but dude, he is meticulous. Like those guys are so insane, like leaving like gnarly lines for the race run. Could you imagine that? Like, okay, I'm going to do this the fastest I've done it ever. And then I'm going to do this feature that I haven't done yet. And this is the most important moment. Like,
yeah. That's the moment that'll make them win or lose, basically.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I only did one World Cup downhill in my life, and just the feeling at the start between all the racers, like the people warming up and like getting in line and getting ready to go. It's like being inside of a movie like where the Romans are fighting, like, you know, movie 300 where they're like getting pumped up and they're going out to fight, and most of them are going to die. It's like sort of that same vibe. It's crazy up there.
In a way, they are putting their life on the line.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely. It's a crazy sport. And I've been at the top of a World Cup downhill for Julie a couple times. In the female class, it shocked me. I thought it was not impressive, but I thought we were doing a lot to go up there with the bikes fully prepped, a work stand, full toolbox, like we're ready at the start line. It's all been prepped. And then I see people with a cross-country bike, rollers, a fan, a yoga mat, like all sorts of stuff happening, you know, smelling salts, whatever else. And I'm like, wait a second, we're not prepared.
We're not there yet.
Yeah. And then you realize that downhill really is that sport.
Oh,
especially compared to like enduro, where it's just like you turn up and you just ride. You ride as much and as fast as possible. And but that's the thing, is there's room for that in downhill. In enduro, like there's a reason why the pits aren't that big, because you have to go around to too many places to have that big of a pit. Downhill, it's like we're parked up here for a week. We need this to be as good as possible.
Yeah.
And same for the top of the track. Like show up an hour early, do your routine, spin for 25 minutes. Like you're warm, you're there.
And that's how you stay in that mental space, is you recreate that process. You hear the Supercross guys talking about it so much. Don't get caught up in the race, just focus on the process. And the more consistency you can have in that process, you can recreate that mental space and just execute.
It also breeds funny good luck things. People will just like touch their left nostril because they did that one time before they won, you know?